Gurmeet, what are you watching really out of this? I mean, it's a big event. It will matter maybe for a day, 2 days. But for investors who are watching this here and who can largely only sort of take exposure to Indian stocks, how to kind of sort of deal with this, and what are the implications?
So, I agree with my friend here that some of the Trump victory, if it happens, I mean, still, the same cricket and elections, you have to wait till the last call or the last vote is counted. If it plays through, I think a lot of it is in the price. Just see the bond yields, how they've moved up, see the dollar index, see the way US stocks have done over the last few trading sessions. I think some of it is in the price. Now, in the short term, dollar may strengthen a little bit more. China may be forced to do a bigger stimulus if that plays out well. And if you see China, the economic situation is not that great. It's been now 6 quarters of GDP deflation as per the GDP deflator data by various agencies, which means the stimulus would have a short-term impact. So entire this China trade, which is sell India, buy China, which is how this correction in India started, could also reverse a little bit. I'm not saying it will completely reverse, but that entire trade will have, limited legs, at least in the medium term, so which is positive. Second, I think, as you know, my sense is if you see US and India, it's just been opposite. The Russell index has just gone up from 1700 levels to 2200. In India, it's the other way. The Nifty small cap index is up 4x since COVID, and it's been a small mid cap journey in India and US. It's been the big tech and large cap, and that is why we have such low correlation between India and US markets, and that is why this asset allocation is important. I think a lot of mean reversion can happen. India probably could go towards large cap as valuations look stretched. US, as you rightly said, it could go towards more mid and small cap. But my sense is in the medium term, I think it is positive once this is out, and more for the world. I think a stable government, maybe personally biased there. I think, what the world would also want to see is, this geopolitical, de-escalation happening. I think the big reason for inflation, supply side issues, all of that has been high interest rates, has been these geopolitical escalations.
Quickly go back to Gurmeet, and Gurmeet, stocks. Now we've discussed the US election and the big picture a lot, but individual stocks, and I want to start with Titan. Now we all know it's been a bad quarter and there's this whole debate around lab-grown diamonds. But the thing is, they say you buy great businesses, great companies when the narrative is weak, which is the case with Titan. The stock is off 15% right now. But are you convinced that this is only a short-term blip?
It is, Surbi, and we've seen it so many times. Obviously, when you trade at 80 times earnings, any miss and also lowering of guidance, I think would probably be a touch negative because this, the share of studded has dropped from 33 to 30%. And if you actually remove the custom duty impact, the PAT is actually in line. It would be excess of 900 crores. But as I said, rich valuations, any miss, the market is unforgiving, and it's been unforgiving for some of the strongest counters. But any larger dip could be an opportunity. We have like a 40 lakh weddings due now this month and early next month. And usually this Q3 is amongst the best for these companies. So the H2 has to be a little better. Also, there are other segments now, which is the wearable segment, the smartwatch segment, and other segments are now gradually shaping well. Obviously, the jewelry does the most of the heavy lifting. But I don't see any structural trends there. It's basically a miss due to margins. And I think it's also good because the gold prices are so high that there is the share of studded and share of the higher mix jewelry items tends to fall when prices go up, and it's more gold coins and other stuff. It's very obvious when gold prices go up. My sense is looks transient to me.
Okay, all right. So you are still a believer in Titan. Got that, Gurmeet. We'll try and squeeze in some more questions before the market opens if timing allows us. So just stay on.